Hey there guys, I am the Six Machine and welcome back to another Warhammer video. The time of change is upon us. The tricksy plotting schemes of Tzeentch have finally caught up with us, and some brand new and updated rules are coming for the forces of Big Bird. So let's dive right in and take a look. First up, it does mention there is no more auto-splitting for horrors. They do it now on a 4+ when they die, so they are definitely a lot less reliable than before. You can't guarantee you are going to get them. However, to balance that out, you no longer need to keep any reinforcement points held back for those extra split horrors. So any you do get will just be a nice extra addition, a nice bonus on top of your existing army. So overall, yes, it's more random. You may not get as many as you had before, but I do think I prefer it overall. It's nicer than almost having to set some points aside and save those points in the knowledge that some of your units are inevitably going to die. Now you can still bring all the models and units you want in your main army and just get some extra horrors 50% of the time on top of that. I would say overall power-wise, it's probably more of a side grade than anything else, but as I said, personally, I do prefer it as a mechanic overall. On the actual stat line front, however, we are seeing some hugely boosted profiles for a lot of the units in Tzeentch, and the one they show off today is everyone's favourite Flamer unit, the Flamers. They have got a massive bump, and if the rumours are anything to go by, a pretty significant points decrease as well. So I have a funny feeling these units are going to be one of the powerhouses of the new book. And as you can see, they not only gain a bit of a better weapon skill just in case you do get caught in melee, but they also have better strength, an extra attack, and an extra wound. They've had a slight nerf in melee with their save, which drops to just the 6-up demon save because there's no more 5-up invuln if you remember. But at range, they are now sporting an insanely good, basically 3-up invulnerable save. And I mean, that alone is just bonkers good. It means that enemy units trying to shoot your flamers as they move up the board or get into range with their flamer weapons are essentially going to be trying to kill off old school Thunderhammer Stormshield Terminators, which, if you remember, was sometimes a pretty damn tricky thing to do. So there is a huge boost to the Flamers overall. They've got a better stat line, they've got better melee output, and they are much, much, much more durable. Their ranged weapon, the Flickering Flames, has also had a fairly substantial boost, going from a pistol D6 strength user -1 AP 1 damage weapon to an assault D6 +3 profile, still at strength user, but as you will remember, that is now strength 5 instead of strength 4, and also -2 AP instead of -1. So this thing has got massively better. Being assault means that you can't shoot it in combat like you could with pistols, so that is admittedly a bit of a nerf, but in every other way, this has got a huge buff. You will be averaging 6.5 auto hits instead of the 3.5 that you would now, at better strength and at better AP. So it's just going to melt through all manner of infantry with just sheer weight of damage. And as a quick idea of how much better it's got, you go from doing around 0.5 wounds to a marine profile with the old version to now doing around 2.1. So it's essentially 4 times better at killing marines as it was before. On top of that, it can be boosted even further with an Exalted Flamer, whose blazing warp fire aura means that flamer units within 6 inches get an extra +1 strength to the weapon as well. So they go up to strength 6, which means that even things like Custodes and Orcs and Bike units will really feel the hurt from your Flickering Flames now. So overall, Flamers have got a huge boost, and if the rumoured points drop is also true, you are going to be seeing them everywhere, I think. On top of the Flamers, we also got to see a new rule for the Screamers of Tzeentch, the Riders of the Immaterial Winds, which is another fantastic rule. It basically lets them teleport all over the board. When they advance, instead of rolling a dice, you can just pick them up and move them anywhere on the board 9 inches away from enemies. So they can basically deep strike every single turn, which is kind of insane. It's going to be huge for things like line breaker or secondaries, stealing enemy objectives, or just, threatening backline tanks or other heavy weapons teams that don't want enemy units close to them. It's a really very powerful ability that I think is going to make Tzeentch feel like a very difficult, very slippery opponent to try and pin down, and it's going to be really hard for your opponent to stop you pretty much getting board control wherever you damn well please. The final thing they show us in the article today is of course a psychic power for Tzeentch, the Gaze of Fate. This previously gave you a reroll of a dice later in your turn. It is now, in my opinion, massively better, and basically lets you, for a warp charge of 7, keep 2 unspent warp storm points for your next turn. And this, again, is a huge rule. With the random nature of the warp storm points, you roll 8d6, and on a 4+ you get a warp storm point, so you're on average going to be getting 4 or 5 a turn. But it is really random, so knowing that you can, if you get this power off, store 2 of those dice and know that you have them banked for next turn, it's going to be so useful for your plans and, making sure that you know what you can potentially get off power-wise, what you can be relying upon to get, even if you don't roll any of the 8d6, even if you don't get any other warp storm points, you have those 2 to at least get off one of the smaller powers to buff your army so you're not left completely in the lurch. It is a genuinely fantastic psychic power for demons, and it interacts so well with their new mechanic, and I think it is going to be a power that you see taken pretty much every single time, just for that sheer reliability of being able to keep at least 2 warp storm points to boost your army as much as you possibly can. I think overall, Tzeentch is looking really solid. They've got some very good new profiles on their units, and at least one amazing new psychic power coming for them. But as always, what do you think of these new rules for the Changer of Ways? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me, but until next time, I'll catch you later guys.